Hi, I'm Estaryia Venus, and we're about to begin a sound wave rejuvenation group healing session here in Sedona, Arizona. First of all, sound is a carrier wave of information. It's a wave of energy that carries with it specific information. So you can think of it like a radio station, right? If you tune it to 94.6, you're going to hear certain information. If you tune it to 98.9, you're going to hear something else. So the different frequencies are literally turning on information inside of our cells. Okay? So your cells have all of this information inside of it because our cells are a microcosm of the macrocosm. So our body is made of the same elements as the earth. And our cells hold and contain all of the codes of information inside of our cellular DNA. And so through the law and principle of sympathetic resonance, we are literally resonating and turning on this information. This information are in the codes in our DNA, and this information has been dormant. It has been dormant partially because we are in an evolution as a human species. So we are evolving to the next level. And in that evolution, we are awakening this information that's already inside of us. And so in order to awaken that information, one of the things that we must do is release the stress hormone cortisol and stop it from firing. And I know most people are aware of the stress hormone cortisol. It's also called the fight or flight response. And basically, it puts us into a sympathetic nervous system mode. And when we're in the sympathetic, we're not relaxed, we're stressed. When that stress hormone cortisol is firing, that fight or flight, our whole body is in stress. And before we can activate these codes of information that are inside of us to awaken us to our divine potential, we have to get that stress out. And we know that that stress is being caused a lot by the electromagnetic energies, the Wi-Fi, the cell phone, all of these things that take us out of vibrational resonance with the harmonic resonant field of the earth. So we know that when we're by the ocean or when we're in the forest, right, we feel the best because we are resonating and connecting with our natural energy. And it's grounding us, it's supporting us, and it's feeding us energy. So when we're in stress, it's like we're being strangled and we can't absorb and receive that energy from the earth. And so the first thing to healing is we need to release the stress hormone cortisol out of the body and bring our body out of sympathetic and into parasympathetic. And that allows the body to come into a homeostasis, and it brings us into a state of coherence. Now, let's talk a little bit about coherence, because one of the things that I work with directly is working with bringing our brain waves and our heart rhythm into a state of coherence. It's not just the heart rhythm. We need to actually bring all the biorhythms in the body into this state for healing to happen. So that means our brain waves, our heartbeat, our respiratory system, our breathing, that's a pulse, right? That's our pulse wave, and the cranial sacral fluid in our spine, okay? So when those four are out of sync, which the majority of the people on the planet are out of sync, right? Our brain waves are doing one thing, we're thinking one thing, and they're at a certain speed. Usually people's brain waves are sped up into extremely high levels of beta, the beta wave. And then you've got your heartbeat doing something else, and maybe you've got shallow breathing going on. All four rhythms are out of sync. So we need to bring all four rhythms back into one wave. So it's a phase conjugation. So we're bringing the wave back into phase with each other, into coherence. Once we're in coherence with our brain and our heart and our breathing and everything is together, now, and we're in homeostasis, we're in parasympathetic, now is where the healing can begin to happen and the rejuvenation. So what we want to do then is we want to release any distortions in the energetic field. So when we have a physical injury, what happens is that we have a distortion of energy in our field. So think about we're made of energy, and these waves are flowing, and now you have a trauma to your body, or maybe even a surgery. Now there's a distortion in the energetic field there. It's clumped up, it's scar tissue starts to form, and now energy can't move through that, so it has to move around it. And so now we have a blockage of flow of energy, which will eventually create other issues in the body. So we want to clear out these distortions of energy. So the physical trauma is one, but we also have the emotional traumas. And the emotional traumas that we hold from birth, whether it happened when we were in the womb of our mothers, because when we're in the womb, everything that our mother felt, everything she thought, everything, every emotion was transmitted to us in our developmental stage. It went right into our cellular development. And so we've got pre-birth traumas emotionally, and we have birth traumas during the actual birthing, because of course back then there wasn't much awareness around conscious birthing that happened. So a lot of that was happening in the hospitals, very sterile, putting biceps on and pulling babies out. All sorts of things were happening. But then you've got the first 7 years of development where we are so susceptible to everything that our parents say to us. And so any stored emotion, and the thing is that our parents, of course, they weren't taught how to process emotionally. They weren't aware of any of that. And so, maybe your brother or your sibling says something to you, and all of a sudden you don't feel good about yourself. And you store these feelings of not being good about yourself, feeling good, and then that creates belief systems, and then those are stored in our cellular imprint as well. So those emotions that get stuck in there, which are trauma, emotional trauma, whatever level, some people experience very high levels of emotional trauma, those imprints on a cellular level are there, and they will eventually cause dis-ease as well. Because we know, of course, that the mind, the emotions, the body, the spirit, it's all connected. And that is the beauty of the vibrational healing that I do, that I have witnessed over the past almost 30 years, is that the sound has the power to address all four simultaneously. And that is a key to the healing, because we have to address the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. They're all connected. And so with the sound in this particular method, we can address all four, and therefore bring everything back into a harmonic alignment and a balance. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working with the brain waves and bringing yourselves down into alpha, theta, and delta brainwave states. Now, delta is the deepest relaxation. Delta is going to bring your body into that state where it can regenerate. Regeneration happens when we're in delta. So, for example, when we're sleeping, our brain waves, in order for us to get that real deep regeneration, we need to be in deep delta. That's when we go into the REM state. If we don't access that state, which most people on the planet are not really accessing now, that's why sleep is such an epidemic on the planet, the lack of sleep, is that we're not going into that deep state because of all of this unbalance within our pulse systems. So in the delta state, you're able to deeply relax and then being able to start to regenerate the body. So you'll be experiencing that. You'll be experiencing specific frequencies that are also going to be turning on information at a cellular level. I'm going to be using my voice and once I get you down into this state of relaxation, that's where then I'm going to be coming in and bringing in my voice and bringing in specific frequencies to help release the distortions of energy that could be in your field, maybe from old traumas, etc. So we're going to be experiencing various levels as we go down. Some of the things that you might experience in your body, you might feel tingling sensations, you might feel hot or cold temperature changes, which could be sudden or not. You might feel extremely heavy, like you are so grounded, like you are melting and sinking into the earth, like you can't even move your arms or your legs. And very often people have tried and they can't. And that's okay. Whatever you're feeling, you're going to keep going with it. You're going to keep sinking into that. Now you might feel, like I said, electricity shooting through your body, tingling sensations. You might feel pain, particularly if there's some blockages of energies, maybe around surgeries, maybe around old injuries that you have. And that is wonderful if you feel pain, because all you're going to be doing this whole time are two things. You're going to be melting and breathing. The place that you feel the physical sensation is the doorway to the other side. That's why pain is so wonderful. If you have a pain right here, I know exactly where the doorway is. All I got to do is melt and breathe right into the spot. If it's your neck, okay, that's where I have an injury, I'm feeling pain, great. Breathe right into it, because the pain is where you're experiencing the physical sensation is arising, because the harmonic frequencies are coming in and they're not being able to get through. There's a block there. Now you're going to breathe into that block and allow the sound to move and re-pattern the energy. We are restoring the natural pattern and blueprint back. Back into the biology of the earth. All your cells and molecules melting into the biology of the earth.
I felt like my arm started levitating, and I thought, wow, that's cool, that's interesting. I felt like light body. There was just a lot of love, a lot of passion in this whole experience. Hi, I'm John. This is my second time here. The first time I came, I had a knee issue, and it was pretty painful. It was on the inside of my knee. And through the sound vibrations, I felt some healing. And so it felt better. So I went through the next couple of days and I was feeling a lot better. It wasn't as intense. And then I came here tonight. This is my second visit. And I felt it immediately go right to that knee spot. But it didn't go to where it originally was. It went to someplace else in the knee. And it'd be intense, and then it would kind of die down, and then it would be intense, and it would die down, and pretty soon it just stopped, period. There was no more pain. As I stand here right now, I do not have any more pain. Thank you.
I had many experiences on the emotional level, and there was lots of energy coming from the sound, and I felt it throughout my body. That pain, I did what was said. I would breathe into it and it disappeared after a while. And then there was this gorgeous, beautiful violet. It looked like a flame, and I knew that in that color there was a connection to something higher. I've had a pain in my neck and in the back of my skull on the right side, and I felt that pain come up and also dispersed. So to walk out of here pain-free, I'm very grateful for it. Hi, my name is Barbara, and it's been 2 days since I've had sound healing with Estaryia, and I have no more pain in my left shoulder, which has been with me for years, and I've had wonderful sleep, so I'm very excited about this.
Hi, my name is Christina, and I came to a sound healing with Estaryia 2 days ago, and I was having issues with the right side of my body, specifically my right shoulder. And so after the sound healing, I was vibrating, and I went home that evening, and it still was vibrating all through the right side. And I just relaxed and breathed into it, and that evening I took a shower, and I just stood underneath the warm water, and as I stood, I moved with my shoulder, and then I had this huge popping sound, and all of a sudden the pain just subsided, and I had this tremendous mobility back in my arms again. So I'm so grateful for having had that experience, and it is just amazing that after a couple of years of being in pain, I can actually have mobility back in my shoulders again. So thank you.
And the thing that I got out of this beautiful sound healing was so much anger and angst and resentment I've been carrying around for my mom. I was able to let that go, and I really think I'm going to be able to treat her like I do my friend's mom. So I'm excited. I think something occurred in me chemically, physically, emotionally during this experience. So thank you very much.
My name is Glad, and I've just finished a sound healing experience with Estaryia here in Sedona. It was a remarkable experience. I recommend it highly. Very expansive. The vibration that she offers, both in her voice and in the other sounds that she arranges, so penetrates the body that you feel it in every cell of your body. I came here with a very stiff neck and shoulder and sort of numb fingers, and that's all gone now. And it was just a joyful experience to feel that wonderful divine vibration throughout my body. Thank you very much, Estaryia.
And I really think I'm going to be able to treat her like I do my friends' moms who are unhealthy, and and just let it go.
I wanted to express again my gratitude for this amazing practice. I've meditated for all my life, and this was the most profound release I've ever had. My throat has opened quite a bit, but that's not even as great a gift as the awareness of why I wasn't allowing it to. And it's sort of what feels more is because when the throat started to open, and when I realized I had been putting my own hand over my mouth, because I was like the weird kid.
Yeah.
And was when the shoulders started going ka-chunk, the hips started to open, and it's continuing to resonate.
Your voice is incredible. I mean, it has such power. It did feel like a Kundalini, very gentle release. It was happening first in my throat and these two chakras, but then it happened in my whole body.
There's been stiffness and pain in my joints, especially my wrists and my knees, and so it felt like structurally the skeleton was moving and adjusting.
So I was here 2 days ago, and since then what I have been experiencing is a rejuvenation. I had been experiencing before that just sort of fatigue and stress and headaches, and what I found the next morning when I woke up was that I just felt completely free of all that stress, and like I had my energy back and my headache was gone, and it's just been so wonderful that I came back for a second round of energy healing, and so I'm happy to report what a success it was the first time.